I will always come for you.
But how can you be sure?
This is true love. I think this happens every day.
You're trying to kidnap what I've rightfully stolen.
She is alive, or was an hour ago. If she is otherwise when I find her, I should be very put out.
Somewhere close by is a man who can help us.
Few films are as beloved across generations as The Princess Bride. In a genre now dominated with modern, high-budget, CGI effects-driven fantasy epics, what makes this film, now 35 years old, endure? And why do we love it?
Bye-bye, boys!
Have fun storming the castle!
The Princess Bride. It's been 35 years, 1987. So what is it that makes this movie really good? Not only from the age of 10 to 12, but when you're, in your late 30s. That we
What was that?
makes it endure. Late 30s. I'm in my late 30s, and I still like this film.
As the gray encroaches.
Encroaches. It's already there.
I personally have always loved fairy tales, and like my family's from the Czech Republic, and I feel like all the movies that I've seen there, I mean, obviously they make adult movies, but they do so many fairy tales. It's always all these different kind of fairy tales.
Really?
A ton of them. Yeah, like my cousin's boyfriend is like a famous fairy tale actor. And he does it all over Europe.
Wow.
But like that's a huge genre over there. But they've got all the castles,
All the
it's
things.
like so easily accessible to do that kind of stuff,
I have a very distinct memory. I had injured my back while playing with my cousins, scraped my back up, I fell. And I just remember laying on the carpet while my mom put bacterial shit on my back. And they put this movie on, and I just remember laying transfixed by this film.
Wow.
And the next time I saw it was 6th grade, 7th grade, and my teacher put it on in school. I was like, I've seen this movie. Everyone's like, this movie's gonna suck. The Princess Bride. Blah. They thought it was.
Yeah.
They were the Fred Savage.
Yeah. Exactly.
What is this? Are you trying to trick me?
And I'm like, no, this movie is amazing. You guys will love it. And everyone's making fun of me. And by the end of it, they're like, yeah, that movie's really good. I was like, I know. Do you think this movie could, if it were made today, would be as popular, or do you think it would be destroyed by CGI?
I don't know if we showed it to some of our kids, if they would find it as great, because they are used to all these big spectacle CGI movies that are, they're exciting, but they're a lot more just like junk food. This movie is everything but that. I think a lot of the modern films today rely on CGI and spectacle and action and thousands of characters, and
It's like in this, you meet all the main characters in the first 7 minutes of this. You don't have to know the history of Florin or the history of Gilda or any of that sort of bullshit. It's just hey, this is the story, here you go. You don't have to know a bunch of backstory and history of who did what. It's all introduced with the story.
Who is Gilda?
The country across the sea, the sworn enemy of Florin.
That's actually what I really loved about it, was its simplicity. It was very easy, even as a kid, to understand who was doing what to whom and why. There was no...
The world building was very simple.
Yeah, there were no real surprises.
Right.
You knew exactly what Prince Humperdinck wanted because he freaking told you.
yes,
Exactly.
one of my favorite lines.
Exactly.
But I've got my country's 500th anniversary to plan, my wedding to arrange, my wife to murder, and Gilda to frame for it. I'm swamped.
I'm swamped.
I gotta do some shit.
Yeah. And
you never knew who wanted what. Or you always knew who wanted
yeah.
what. There were never any questions.
But it wasn't boring either.
Yeah,
'cause
it wasn't
the
boring
story
either.
was interesting.
Which also proves that point that you don't need all this lore like Lord of the Rings or other fantasy films based on books like Aragon, or you don't need all this wealth of information to build out a believable and simple world to tell a simple and true story.
Hold on. Are you telling me we could put this on for our kids and they wouldn't ask questions through the whole thing?
I don't know about all that.
We still ask questions.
What did Fezzik mean he's dead? Who gets Humperdinck?
You want me to read this or not?
It's very bare bones. It is the quintessential fairy tale, as they were written in a very misogynistic
Oh my.
boy and girl fall in love.
Right.
Girl needs to be rescued. I'm like, Buttercup, rescue your damn self. you're waiting for homeboy to rescue you, or you're gonna kill yourself. I don't know. But
Who gave this woman a knife in a box? Right? They're like, here's this beautiful gift in case you need to stab your own breast. Like, take that knife and stab this motherfucker.
Right? Like, cut him and leave.
She is not entirely helpless either.
No, she's not. She's not.
And she like shoves him down the hill. And, Wesley before he found out he's Wesley.
Yeah, so she's got some stuff.
I do not marry tonight. My Wesley will save me.
So, the tone of this movie, to the author before this movie was made, finding someone that could kind of recreate the tone that he wanted was super important.
Yes, the author of the book, after seeing Rob Reiner's This is Spinal Tap and The Sure Thing,
all right,
he felt that he could accomplish the book.
I mean, Spinal Tap is one of the greatest comedies ever.
Bar
none. I mean, yeah, regardless of the fact that none of the comedy was scripted.
It was all improv, yeah.
Yeah.
But still, the comedy was there.
To know that, that speed and that cadence.
If it wasn't funny, if this movie took itself too seriously, it wouldn't be.
We wouldn't be talking about this movie if it wasn't for the humor.
Give us the gate key.
I have no gate key.
Basic. 30 arms off.
Oh, you mean this gate key?
Yes, if it was like the movie Willow or any of those serious, takes itself very seriously, dramatic fantasy films of the 80s, 90s.
Right.
The humor is what makes it timeless.
Dream of large women.
I'm just thinking about this scene where Fezzik is fighting.
You're quick.
You're like, how is this guy fighting this huge giant and winning, especially with all the movies that we've seen today, where one dude somehow kills 20 people and is totally fine, you know?
Haven't fought just one person for so long. Been specializing in groups. You use different moves when you're fighting. Half a dozen people.
It's hilarious because, that actually does make sense. You do use different moves.
When you fight half a dozen people.
Right? And you're getting invested by it. And it's that's hilarious, but it's also believable and it just works.
It does.
Yeah.
I love the irony in the movie where she asks about the ROUS.
Right.
Wesley, what about the ROUSs?
Rodents of unusual size? I don't think they exist.
And it's immediately attacked by what?
Yeah.
It's that immediate opposite.
The irony or
the irony. Like the same with Inigo Montoya when he's on the boat.
Probably some local fisherman out for a pleasure cruise at night through eel-infested waters.
Splash.
Exactly. It's like this movie is so opposite. Like if everything they say, the opposite takes place.
And dude, the dialogue's not,
and it's so quick.
It's not on the beat either. Too. It's like there's a pause and then the joke's delivered, or it's like a couple beats and then it's not so
quippy.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's a hilarious movie. That's what I love most about it. That's why I remember it after all these years, is because of the humor. Number one.
I kind of want to talk about the set pieces a little bit. Like they look campy as fuck.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's the Cliffs of Insanity. I'm like, that's a matte painting.
The Cliffs of Insanity!
Like honestly, when they first start climbing, it is a shitty set.
It's terrible.
But when you pull back to them going up, it's actually the Cliffs of Dover. Like they filmed on set in England. All the castles were real castles. All of the countryside fields were English fields.
Yeah.
Where they went to tell this story is where this story would have taken place.
But it doesn't overpower the film. Like some of the modern fantasy films, it's like, look at the setting, and it becomes all about, we're in Iceland. And,
right.
But the spot where it's cool to be campy, they were campy as fuck.
Right.
Fire swamp.
A few more steps and we'll be safe in the fire swamp.
We'll never survive.
Nonsense. You're only saying that because no one ever has.
One of my favorite, really intimate moments is like when she falls in the lightning sand, right? And he dives in after her and gets her out. And they're both hugging. And it's just a shot over each other's shoulder, and you can see like the RUS. She sees the RUS in the background and stuff. And it's just this really personal, intimate moment. You don't see that in Lord of the Rings. Where it's like,
well, you're trying to save the world. Who have any of us saved the world lately? No,
we've done things for people we love.
Exactly.
Not trying to save the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie is much smaller. It's much more personal. It's a beautiful love story, and
even the cinematography is personal. Man. It's like up close shots.
Right? Yeah. Same with the fight scenes. The fight scenes are very personal. They're very up close.
Lack of long
You
shots.
feel the ebb and flow of the combat.
There's tension in
right.
the movie.
It's not a widescreen shot of 10,000 orcs storming a goddamn.
Which is
town.
kind of like
yeah. It's two
glares
dudes
over.
fighting themselves, both left-handed. Both of them are really right-handed.
And
you know, they're doing Benetti's defense and whatever. Yeah.
Maybe actual sword fighting style.
Yeah.
You're using Bonetti's defense against me, huh?
I thought it fitting, considering the rocky terrain.
What's one of your what about favorite quotes? I can quote this movie from beginning to end.
There's so many. But we can't go without speaking about Billy Crystal.
The king's stinking son fired me, and thank you so much for bringing up such a painful subject. While you're at it, why don't you give me a nice paper cut and pour lemon juice on it? We're closed.
Of course.
And all his lines are so good.
Well, it just so happens that your friend here is only mostly dead.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Like,
That's a big difference between mostly dead and all dead.
What if you do if he's all dead?
He got through his pockets for spare change. Yeah. When I was young watching this movie, I loved, inconceivable.
Of course.
Because I'd never heard that word before.
Inconceivable!
I don't think you think that word
Yeah,
is
this
what it
movie
means.
is inconceivable.
Right.
Period.
And then
That should have been the tagline of the fucking poster. Inconceivable.
Period.
with like a couple extra T's and H's.
Inconceivable! You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
I loved all the simple shit. I loved the way that Vicini dies.
You fell victim to one of the classic blunders. The most famous is never get involved in a land war in Asia, but only slightly less well known is this: never go in against a Sicilian when death is on the line.
In the middle of his antagonist cackle, and then freezing, and then just falling. Or another thing is Christopher Guest.
Oh yeah.
Who didn't have a lot of comedic lines in the film.
But he's a great comedian.
A great comedian. And just when he comes out, he's like, if you haven't got your health.
You haven't got anything.
Just like, as an adult, I enjoyed much more than when I was a kid. Dude, this whole movie's quotable.
The marriage.
Marriage is what brings us together today.
Anytime any of my friends get engaged,
Marriage.
that Giphy comes out.
What brings us here? Honestly,
brings us together.
That dream within a dream.
She's like, boo.
Oh, yeah.
Boo! Boo!
Yeah.
You had true love in the fire swamp.
True love saved her in the fire swamp, and she treated it like garbage. And that's what she is.
Queen of refuse.
How do you know that?
Bow to the queen of slime, the queen of filth, the queen of putrescence.
Boo!
If we use the word putrescence anymore.
Yeah.
We should bring that back.
Maybe if you watch
We
this.
need to bring that back. It'll be in the comments.
Right.
Just wait.
All right, so we got to talk about a slightly sad subject now.
Oh.
I know.
Hello. My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
That's the number one, bro.
Number one.
One quote.
And that Mandy Patinkin has that line quoted to him the most.
Yeah, of course.
And which leads to the at the end when he fights the six-fingered man, and he's like, offer me money, everything you want, more power, all that stuff.
Yeah, offer me power.
Yeah, and that whole scene is super powerful. And I had no idea that before they started filming, Mandy Patinkin's dad had died of cancer. So when he kills the six-fingered man, he's killing the cancer that got his dad.
In his mind.
In his mind.
Offer me money. Yes. Power too. Promise me that. All that I have and more. Please. Offer me everything I ask for. Anything you want. I want my father back, you son of a bitch.
There was a reason he wanted to do the movie. And it's why when you go back and rewatch it after knowing that, it's so powerful. His delivery of his lines, the conviction is. I mean, it always hit home as a child
Yeah,
and as an adult.
no matter what. Yeah.
No matter what. That's what's so great about acting. Is that it hit home, it was real. It was fucking real.
Yeah. There was a TikTok person, her name was Amanda Jo Webb, and her father died.
Yeah, Last Webb.
Yeah, that was it. Made a video, and a bunch of people tagged Mandy Patinkin in it, and he saw the video. She heard the same thing, that like his dad died from cancer too, and it just made the movie that much more special to him. And he responded to her video, and he still gets choked up about it.
I know, that was so cool.
I'm so sorry that I sent both of you guys that video.
Yeah.
I warned you.
Warning.
You didn't warn us.
Yeah.
You piece of shit.
you said son of a bitch. It was like, that's clever because
I watched it and I cried in front of my own children. And that's all I could say back was, you son of a bitch.
My favorite quote, actually, not as an adult, is at the very end. Like, they're all at the window and Buttercup jumps out and they got the horse and stuff. And it's just Wesley and Inigo, and he turns to him and he's like, you know, I've been in the revenge business for so long. I don't know what else to do. Yeah. And he's like, well, you make a great Dread Pirate Robert. But that, as an adult, it's like, yeah, man, revenge doesn't get you anywhere. Again, that's as an adult, you watch that and you're like, oh shit.
Ooh.
It is more of an adult theme.
That is a deep thing.
Yeah, and it's also just this whole other side story that's threading through the movie. You know, obviously you have the main characters,
Just
you know,
Buttercup and Wesley.
and their love story. But this is the thread also that's going through it.
The revenge story, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost as important as the love story.
Not as much money in it though.
No, that's a good quote.
One of the things I love most about this movie is that it is accessible both to children and adults.
Right.
The children respond to the main plot line, which is
fantasy plot
the
line.
love story.
Yes.
Right, between Buttercup and Wesley. But as an adult, when you see it a second, third, and fourth time, you more
30th.
Yeah, or 30th.
Whatever.
Yeah. Montoya's storyline is what keeps you coming because there's so many more jokes, there's so many more plot points that come that you understand as an adult from the Six Finger Man and from the villain.
Yeah. Everybody
Mr.
has
Humperdinck.
their Six Finger Man.
Yeah, of course.
You know, what
it's
is
a
that
universal
to you,
trope.
know?
It's so good. I mean, you can't not enjoy it.
Yeah, I've never heard anybody say, I don't like that movie. Like, there's nothing
Let it wash over you. Enjoy the fact that Andre the Giant cannot say lines, even though the lines that are written for him are very clever and well done.
Oh, wait. I wanted it to go to my head.
The comedic timing is perfect. The comedic writing is perfect. It's just, there's no way it could be remade today.
Yeah, don't even say that out loud.
Bro, no, I have to say it out loud because it can't be done.
But they've remade every other, like CGI rodents of unusual size.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it can't occur.
Well, no, it could because
it's part of what made the movie great was rodents attempting to scurry.
You're right.
Our opinion here is that there should never, ever, ever, ever be a remake.
It should.
There was a slight remake.
The home movie.
Really?
Yes. They during the lockdown, during the pandemic. For those of you who don't know, there was a pandemic.
Yes,
pandemic.
I know.
Dear God.
Yeah.
Jason Reitman put out a challenge to all these different actors. Everyone was stuck at home. He wanted to remake The Princess Bride, but as home movies. And so each scene is done by different actors.
Okay.
And he has a lot of the cutaway scenes are like little Lego pieces. It's on YouTube. If you haven't seen it, go watch it.
It's good.
It's phenomenal.
It's funny, and it's the only remake we're ever going to need.
Inhale this, but do not touch.
Yeah.
Who was your favorite Wesley out of the different?
My favorite...
Chris Pine was
so good.
I know, and she's like, no, that's the obvious answer.
It's too obvious.
He did pretty good.
Yeah.
He did pretty good.
Yes,
I loved Thomas Lennon.
That was amazing.
He played Prince Humperdinck.
Yeah,
I thought Thomas Lennon
in
his Reno 911 outfit, of course.
What else do you have lying at home?
With a little fucking dog.
And some eyeliner.
Bugle? Bugle?
I mean, Paul Rudd, I liked at the end just because of his little finger zoom that he did.
Yeah.
You know, it really reminded me of Princess Bride and the campiness of this.
Yes.
You know,
the
like
purposeful
it's got,
comedy.
Yeah, you know, and it's like oh,
if you take
perfect.
yourself seriously, then you've already lost.
To the death.
They're filming on their cell phones. They're making their own props. It's in the same. It's not. They're not trying to make $1 million movie. You know,
Obviously.
they had so much fun. You could tell they had fun.
Yeah,
making
that's the
this.
most important thing.
And
Yeah.
that's what Princess Bride was about.
That's what it was
having
all about.
fun.
Was the love of the original Princess Bride.
Well,
yes, sir.
We said well at the same time. That means it's time to end this. If you haven't seen The Princess Bride, you should watch it. If you haven't seen the YouTube version, you should also watch that. And
enjoy it, bro.
Enjoy. Thanks for watching with us. If you like the show, click some things down there. Only the good things, though. Don't click the bad things. That would be inconceivable. Stay safe, make good choices, and watch good movies.
Like The Princess Bride.
As you wish.